Well, good morning, everybody. This is Joshua, and I'm here with the Nephilim news. Tomorrow, the world's going to explode. But today, the news. Okay, so I wanted to cover something that's bothered me for a while now, and I mentioned it briefly. It actually, I guess, it doesn't bother me. Let me retract that statement. Something that's just more annoying. Often I'll get a comment randomly on one of my videos from somebody who will lay claim to have this, that, well, we're just biding our time till this happens or whatever, or this is going to happen, you know. And I'll go to their page before I answer sometimes just because I want to make sure they're not just obsessed with the end of the world stuff. And 9 times out of 10 they are. Every one of their videos is about either chemtrails or the Nephilim or, you know, I know a lot of my subs are just like, what the hell's a Nephilim? Exactly. Keep it that way. I'm not saying that these subjects aren't true. I'm not saying that they're not, but I am saying that they're not important. I don't find them to be important at all. That's just my opinion, so don't get me, mad at me. If there's people out there who have done the same research I've done and found the same stories that I've found, but just take them a little more to heart, and that's fine. That's totally somebody's choice. But when you become obsessed with the end of the world, you become obsessed with, well, it's depressing. I mean, I don't care what a person says about, whether they feel good or not. If you think that we're biding our time until the end of humanity, it's stressful on a person. And a video I made last night towards the end, I said, it's just another stage. Like I was talking about nuclear waste, which is a good one. People figure we're going to destroy ourselves with radiation. My thought is that in a matter of time, we will be able to eliminate radiation. We already have fungus that can absorb the radiation, so we can at least grow the mushrooms on a certain contaminated patch, then dispose of the mushrooms. What we'll probably find is a further bacteria that will help us break down the radiation, just like we found bacteria to break down the oil. So the end is not imminent, is what I'm saying. Global warming, greenhouse gases, we have no evidence that these things are going to kill us off. We will adapt. We will adjust. That's what we do. Humans can adjust to anything, and we have the intelligence and capacity to make it work. So, on that note, I'm not saying we will survive. Comet could hit tomorrow and we'd all be done. What I'm saying is that we have the capacity to survive. And if people are willing to give themselves the chance to make an effort rather than to give up, then we can make this a beautiful place. The problem being, like I said, what are the most important goals? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's the most important thing. I know people who are spending their lives dedicated to abolishing radiation and power plants, Other folks who are involved in saving the rainforest. And some people want to save the oceans. All of these things need to be helped. We don't know who, everybody seems to want everybody to join their bandwagon. The fact is we need all these different groups for these causes. Otherwise, we're just going to get land raped by every one of these big corporations. So, what do? We develop these little fear-mongering attitudes where we're obsessed with something that's going to happen next. And for a lot of these people, it was Nibiru for so long, Here comes Nibiru. Oh no, we have a second sun. It's going to crash into the earth. Oh no, the turbulence and the great what do they call it? Oh, I don't even remember the name of it now. The great destroyer or whatever. All of these were taken out of just ancient texts and stories that were passed down, and made an assumption that in 2012 some rogue planet is going to crash into Earth, or at least come close enough to wreak havoc on our environment. So while there's absolutely no astronomical evidence, there's no anything for it, people still insist it was going to happen. And they'd be out there with their telescopes, looking at Wiki Sky, checking out the star charts, saying, look, what are they blocking out here? What are they hiding here? Nobody's hiding anything. Okay, there are thousands and thousands of amateur astronomers here in the country that could easily show you that there are no rogue planets heading to crash into us, as far as we know. The gravitational pull has been felt by, there have been some strange effects on the planets and the planetary bodies that could be caused by so many different things. A cosmic wave, a fluctuation from another galaxy. I don't know. See, I'm not an astronomer, but we just assume, oh, well, here comes a planet. It's heating all the other planets up. And this is just one story among many that just went too far and had people just sucked into it. And now it's the whole, well, it always has been about the Nephilim and the reptilians. You know how the reptilians are taking over. You know, if you do a little bit of research into genetics, into evolution, and understand where we branched off from the reptilians, then you can kind of understand what the reptilian mind really is. It's not about a separate species of lizards hiding as humans. We branched off long ago from lizards. Actually, here's an interesting thing. Once we broke off from reptiles, right after we broke off, there was another break. And one branch led to us and all the other mammals, and the other branch went up to just two monotremes. The platypus, which is an awesome creature, and the echidna, which both of them are egg-laying mammals. And the idea of them carrying that on from the reptilian gene, you know, a lot of people would look at a platypus and say it was a mistake of God, or, you know, somebody. There were some really strange stories in the history when people discovered platypus, and they would try to explain what they were and how they came to be. Very interesting stories, you know, and the truth is they just branched off from a different evolutionary form. So perhaps sometime in history there were a group of people that had more reptilian in them. I don't know. The thing is that it's pointless to go into the details, but I'm trying to explain how science can kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what's true. And I don't see any reptilians, I don't see any shapeshifters among us. Let's go into the end of the world with, a lot of people think the Freemasons are trying to end the world. I don't even want to go into that because that's the most ludicrous garbage I've ever heard. People have no idea what the Freemasons are about. They just repeat what they've heard, and they show pictures of symbology and say, look at these people, they're occult, they're hiding stuff, they're trying to take over the world. Let me tell you something. If anyone were to take over the world, if any group were to take over the world, I would rather have it be the Freemasons than anyone else. Go ahead, thumb me down, I don't care. Because the idea is that Freemasons are faulty and flawed like everyone else. But they're a group, a brotherhood, an organization whose goal is the intent for the greatest good for the greatest number of people and to help mankind. But people keep telling us that they're out there trying to abolish Christianity, or that they're building these temples so they can destroy us. I don't know. I guess I should just get to the root of the problem is that people believe everything that they're told. And people become so fearful that something strange is going to happen, that the end of the world is going to come, that they're so afraid of their own mortality that it's almost like we want to drag in the rest of the world with us. And this is nothing new. The end of the world's been coming every year since the beginning of humanity. So take it for what you will. I don't know any better. Tomorrow the world may get destroyed. I don't know. But fearing it's not going to change it. You know, stick your foot in there and do something about it. And, I don't know, speak your mind or use science to try to find a way out. Whatever works. But, stop the fear-mongering. It's all based on hearsay. Nobody's got any real evidence. And every time something happens where the end of the world's supposed to come, it doesn't. And we're still here, and then everybody just shuts up about it. Instead of admitting, okay, I was wrong, they just totally whoosh, disappear. Yep, December 21st, 2012 was the end of the world. And I'm the only one that survived. Peace.